Hello and welcome to a new video. So this is actually part 3 in my series on newborn photography. And in this video I want to share about my workflow. So it's kind of like the process, starting with a client asking for a photo shoot of their newborn baby to them actually receiving the photos. So what happens in between? So while I'm talking about my workflow, I'm going to show you behind the scenes clips from an actual newborn session. I'm going to show you final images and camera settings. So hopefully it's an informative video, fun maybe to hear how I do things, and share in the comments, do you do things differently? Do you have any tips or advice for me? Let me know in the comments and let's learn from each other. So I'm photographing a newborn girl today. So here you see the Paloma Shell easy table. I got a heater there, I got a little wooden chair with a stretchy wrap and like a non-stretchy wrap, and then this one just to fold around the feet, to take a close-up of the feet. This is the stretchy wrap. This is the lace non-stretchy wrap that I can place like over her. I got some headbands as well. The table will be vibrating when she's on it, like a little bit. Heater will be like 22, 23 degrees Celsius, but it won't be like really close to her, but just like I will be kind of like in between. So we have a chunky knitted blanket to cover her with in the beginning when she's lying on her back and she likes to have like a blanket on top of her. Here we have her first outfit. Probably I'll discuss it with the parents, of course. We got a little teddy bear. Here maybe the second outfit with some lace, white as well. So here we have the more like a structured backdrop, and then underneath I already have the second backdrop, which is like finer structured. If she does, I mean, she'll wear a diaper the whole session, but if she has like a big accident, something's leaking or she's like throwing up a lot, I have other creamy white backdrops as well to choose from, and we can always use one of those, like for example this one or that one. I'll discuss it with the parents what they like. So we have the camera, the Nikon D6II with the 24 to 70 millimeter lens, f2.8. There's like a little adapter in between, and we've got a trigger, the Godox X2T for Nikon. Here we have the Godox Speedlight inside the Westcott 50 in softbox. It's the Speedlight, the V862. So I've been using it for quite some time, but still it works great. So yeah, for the backlit portraits of the parents, I'll just place them in front of the softbox, and then I have a second Speedlight pointing towards the ceiling, just to create like a little bit of like a fill light, so the shadows on their faces are just lit a little bit better. Here we've got, of course, changing station, name of the girl, outfits for the sitter session, so we won't be using those. Here I have the rubber floor mats. I'm still debating whether we're going to use the lighter side or the darker side. Maybe the lighter side. Let me just change it for a second. So yeah, because they're like creamy white, I mean, this is more like a earthy toned, like even like a little bit like mustard yellow, but I think it will be really nice just to have like the hard prop there as well, and not like super bright and white, but to play with the shadows a little bit more. That's it for now. Stay tuned. So it usually starts with an email. People send me an email or they fill out the contact form on my website inquiring about a newborn session. Of course, things have happened before that. I have posted on my website, on social media, but am I going to detail on that topic in another video? But here, let's talk about my workflow when it comes to a regular newborn session. So they send me an email, usually with the due date. If they don't mention the due date, I will ask them, and I'll check if I still have, you know, space available in my calendar for their newborn session. Of course, you never know exactly when a baby's going to be born. It can be 2 weeks early, can be 2 weeks late, but roughly around the due date. I'll check where I'm at when it comes to like holidays and everything, to make sure that I have a lot of options still available for their newborn session. So I'll reply, I'll send them all the information. All the information is available on my website as well, including the price and what's included in a session. But just to repeat it again, to make sure that they understand what they're booking, I send it in the first email. I can discuss exactly what's in my emails in another video, but roughly I'll talk about sibling photos, family photos, the days of the week I'm usually available, where the studio is at, what's present in the studio, how long the newborn session lasts, and then I'll ask them if I can make a reservation for them. They don't have to pay anything yet, they don't have to fill out any forms. It's without any obligation. So if they never email me again, they don't let me know whenever their baby's born, that's fine. I won't call them or email them, it's up to them. But if they do reply enthusiastic that they want to book this session, I will ask them to send me another email within 3 days after the baby's born. So they don't have to call me, because usually during sessions I can't pick up the phone anyway. When my kids are around, I might forget to email them back the same day. And whenever they email me, pretty much every night I reply to all my emails. So email for me is the safest way of communication, and I have an overview, because if they send me a message on Instagram and someone else on WhatsApp and someone else on Facebook, I will completely lose track of all the messages. So email is my way of communicating. So then usually I don't hear back from them until their baby's born. So within 3 days after the baby's born, I usually receive a message, just a short message sharing when the baby was born, maybe the name of the baby, but that's it. That's all I need to know. And then I give them a list of options to choose from, dates and time slots. And they can reply with their preferred date or time slot. Sometimes they have to pick 2 options, because I have another family as well picking from the same dates. And I try to accommodate everybody, like they get what they're asking for. But yeah, so then we have the newborn session scheduled in the calendar. I also ask them to fill out my booking form, and I tell them what they can bring to the session, which is usually nothing more than a diaper bag and something to feed the baby. Maybe a pacifier if they use it at home as well, but they don't really have to bring that many items. I do ask them to dress the baby quite easily, so that we have these like rompers that you can wrap around the baby. They don't have to go over the head. And you have these really like pajama kind of like outfits, which are really easy to put on and take off. And I'll ask them to bring like a warm blanket, so whenever we're in between photos and the baby wants a feeding or just wants to be held by the parents for a while, they can wrap the baby in a nice blanket from home. So actually the day before the session, I sent them another email, a reminder. I mentioned the starting time again and where they can park. So on the day of the session, I vacuum the studio, I mop the studio, I preheat the studio so it's nice and warm. I already pick out some nice like backdrops or outfits that we can use, but if the parents mention that they like other colors, I can easily grab some other colors as well while we're busy with the session. I make sure that everything is ready, the heater, the baby shusher, camera is ready, charged, the SD card is ready to go, and then I'll wait for them. We have 2 hours, which gives us plenty of time to take breaks, so the baby can be fed at the beginning of the session, at the end, in the middle, a few times, doesn't matter. I usually have extra time as well that I can add to the session. I don't have them scheduled back to back, so if we need 30 minutes more, maybe towards the end the baby is finally super relaxed and sleeping, we can continue a little bit longer. But yeah, they come in, usually the baby falls asleep in the car seat. So then I ask them if it's okay if I slowly undress the baby on the posing table where it's nice and warm and the baby shusher is on. They always say it's fine. So then I will slowly undress the baby, already start taking some photos, putting the outfit on, and then I'll continue with my order of poses. And I will explain in my next video the order of poses that I usually go for. Depending on the baby, of course. Beanbag, props, maybe another backdrop on the beanbag, maybe flocati, sibling photos, the parent shots. I'll take some detail shots of the feet in between. If the baby is hungry, needs a clean diaper, we'll have time for that. Then I'll make coffee and tea for the parents. So that's pretty much the session. And I almost never look at the time when I'm photographing. And then by the time we finish, I look at the clock. And usually about 2 hours have passed. An hour and a half sometimes, but never really more than 2 hours and maybe 15 minutes. So I kind of keep track in my head, but without actually looking at the clock. The baby shushers setting is 30 minutes. So I know if I've turned on the baby shusher on for 3 times, like it automatically stops and you have to turn it on again, I know an hour and a half has passed. So that's kind of like a thing that helps as well. So then, you know, the baby changes back in their own clothes and they collect all their stuff and they go home, and then I send them the invoice, usually the day after the session. And in the email I say that after they pay the invoice, I have a preview for them. So usually the preview follows within 2 days after the session, but also after they paid for the session. I make a video in iMovie consisting of 8 photos. It has my logo on there, some music, name of the baby, and usually they love it. It gets them so excited. They can share it with family and friends, and because my logo is on there, it's free advertising as well. And then within a week, so like usually 5 or 6 days after the session, sometimes 7 days after the session, they receive the link to their gallery. I use Pixieset, and they can then take their time and select the images that they want to receive. Some are included, they can order more. And then after maybe they paid for the additional images, I'll send the images through WeTransfer. So that's kind of like my workflow. I don't offer an album at the moment. I did before, but I stopped doing that. That could be another topic to explain why I stopped offering albums. But yeah, this is kind of like my workflow when it comes to a newborn session. I edit usually in the evenings or sometimes after sessions or when I don't have sessions and the kids are at school. And that works great for me. So yeah, so now I'm going to show you the final images of this session with the camera settings. She was so lovely, the little girl. It was really beautiful to photograph her, and I think the photos are adorable. So let's look at the photos. Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed watching me pose a baby during actual newborn session and then hearing the voiceover talking about my workflow. I hope that was informative and I hope you enjoyed watching it. I think looking at me posing an actual baby during an actual newborn session might help you as well to photograph babies, to become more confident. It doesn't replace attending an actual workshop where someone is teaching you how to pose a newborn baby, but it might be nice as like a refresh just to watch how I do it and then maybe learn from it or learn from the voiceover. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this. You can always follow me on Instagram. I love reading your comments. And then in next episode, I'm going to talk about the poses I do during a newborn session and in which order. And I'll also include like how I usually do my session when it comes to the order of moments. Like, do I start with sibling photos? Do I do them later on? What about family photos? What about the flocati or the props or several backdrops? Like, how do I plan out my newborn sessions? Like, in which order do I photograph? And of course, it's not set in stone, it differs, but I do have some kind of a system in my head and that works really well. So that will be in next video. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it and I love reading your comments. So hope to see you in the comments. Bye bye.